Okay, so here we go. First video of 2023, and we are in Budapest. I'm here for my birthday, 31st, and this is a POV street shoot of Budapest with the Fujifilm XE4, and it isn't the usual sort of street style I like shooting, because it does involve obviously sort of tourist hotspots and stuff, which I try and avoid when I'm doing sort of street photography. But obviously the trip wasn't just purely street photography focused. I want to see a bit of Budapest and the touristy sites at the same time. So this was immediately outside a hotel, just setting the camera up here, and I decided to shoot in full auto mode because it is sort of one of the first times I've been out of this camera, and yeah, it's it's an early start. This is about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock, got up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we're walking to a place called the Fisherman's Quarter, I'm sure it's called that, Fisherman's Quarter, something like that, and it's about 10-15 minute walk from my hotel. We actually walked here the day before, and I've done a video with a film camera around Budapest, and we went there first the other day, but there was just too many tourists there, so we got up early and made the effort to get up here hopefully before too many tourists, but as you'll see in a minute, that didn't quite work out. So yeah, here we go. We're taking a walk up to Fisherman's Quarter now. This is a really impressive building. It's a must-see if you are going to Budapest. Just snapping a couple of photos before I get there to see what they're coming out like. We are actually using the Fujifilm's film simulation, and I've got it set on a Kodak Gold simulation, so none of these photos have been edited that you've seen. They're straight out of camera using the Kodak Gold film simulation. I'm trying to emulate that sort of film look as best I can, so that's the reason behind that, and I really like the sort of the Kodak Gold film look, so I don't think it's quite there, but it's getting there, it's getting there. So here we are, we're walking up now. This is the Fisherman's Quarter. We're just walking up the front, well, it's not the front, it's actually the side entrance this is. And you've got the sun coming in at a nice angle. We just stop up here and get a shot, which was one of my favourite shots of the trip actually. Just a nice one, it's framed nicely with this archway. Just a little bit of a shame there's some Christmas lights dangling from the arch, but still really nice, lovely light. And as you can see, it's pretty quiet up here, but once you get up to this top bit, which is where the sun is actually coming from, you'll see it's not as quiet as we think. Here we go, so there's I think it's a church of some kind in the centre there, and then you've got this beautiful view over Budapest, and the sun rising. As you see, everyone's getting their Instagram shots. We've got time lapses going, we've got selfies, we've got tripods dotted around, getting people's bits and bobs. Bit of a pain because we did think we were going to be the only people up here at this sort of time. You've got people just leaving cameras lying around, just getting time lapses and things, which is a bit annoying because you don't really want them in your shots. But there we are. Should have got there a bit earlier. You'll also see me in this video shooting some portrait and some landscape. Now personally I love the look of a landscape photo, but Instagram, things like that, thanks to them we do have to shoot in some portraits. So I do take photos twice normally, one in landscape and then one in portrait. Obviously landscape is ideal for showing you what the photo looks like on YouTube, but then if I want to post that on Instagram, it doesn't use much real estate up, so alright as a post itself, but if you're going to use it in a reel or something, it's not ideal. So I kind of get a mixture of the two when I'm out. That's sort of my goal, because I do like to cut these YouTube sort of clips up and do like a POV perspective reel on my Instagram page. As you can see, really nice light here. Clear day. Weather was amazing while we were away. Bearing in mind we got there, I don't think they do. Early January, and expecting it to be freezing cold. It really wasn't. It was probably a bit warmer in the UK, to be fair. Passing some photographers here doing sort of like it's like a model shoot. They've got lights, they've got tripods, they've got everything, and they were going to town. It's a real hot spot for photographers. So yeah, that's to be expected, I suppose. We even had someone here, if you look, doing a shoot with their dog. Can you believe it? And it was a full-blown setup. Mate, we had everything. Here you go, got a great view of the river here, and this is actually the front of this fisherman's quarter.
You see that dog over in the photo?
Really impressive building. And the sun glaring in here, love this shot, apart from the fact the light, if you look, the glass where you light the light is actually open, which is really frustrating, but it was too high up for me to shut, so unfortunately you can see it in the photos open, but that's probably just my OCD a little bit there. But yeah, lovely shot there with the sunrise. We must have spent about a good hour or so up here this morning. It's just one of the best places for sunrise, to be fair, in Budapest, I think. There are a couple of castles and things on the same side of the river, but I think they're a little bit harder to get up to. But I dare say it's worth the hike. Nice shot there. In a couple of these shots you'll see me using Hannah as a model. Cheating a little bit, but it keeps her happy. She gets some nice photos out of it, and it's nice sometimes just to have a subject. I'm also shooting on a 16mm. I'm actually going to do a separate video on why I'm shooting at 16mm, but briefly it's a focal length I don't really shoot with a lot. I did have the 35mm fixed on this Fuji when I first got it, and it was a 35, but it come out more of about a 40mm with the XE4, so I didn't really like that focal length, to be honest. So I've changed to a 16, and a lot of people will be like, oh, why don't you just get sort of a telephoto lens and you can have a choice. The whole point of me purchasing this camera was I don't want a choice. I want a camera that I can pick up and I can just use, and it makes me think about framing and things like that, and composition of the shot, because of the fixed focal length. It's too easy with a telephoto to be faffing around with it and stuff like that, and I want to think a little bit more when I take photos, so that's the reason I've chose 16mm, and the whole of this video is with a 16mm, because I actually sold the 35 just so I don't have the headache of trying to decide what lens to take with me, or should I change lens when I'm out and about and things like that. I just want it to be purely point and shoot in a sense, really. But he's getting some amazing shots. It is a bit annoying when you think, oh, that would look good at 70 or something, and you know, normally if I was shooting on my Canons I could just go straight in at 70, but it's learning to enjoy sort of less options. So here we are, we're coming up to finishing it up the Fisherman's Quarter now. I've been up here a while, and there's just so many amazing shots to get, so I have spent a bit longer here than I probably would want to, or I probably wouldn't show as much of this in a normal YouTube video, but it's just such amazing light, amazing place to shoot, so I wanted to show it all to you really. Just tweaking a couple of little settings here just to get the sort of look I'm looking for. Nice little silhouette. Isn't it? It's blinding. Okay, here we go. So we actually went to the I don't think they're called the spa or whatever it's called, the famous spas and baths in Budapest that morning. So that's why we've jumped a little bit in time. So that's the complete opposite end of Budapest to where our hotel was. And this is just outside the spa. It's a nice lake, and it has a load of steam mist on it first thing in the morning, because it's still relatively early at this point. So we're just getting a couple of shots here. This is where we realised there's a load of fish in the actual lake. Huge baby fish, couldn't tell you what kind of fish they are. But we managed to get a few shots of them, and you can actually see them quite well. Oh yeah, they're everywhere. If you're wondering what that background noise is and that horn noise, there's an ice rink over the other side where they're doing some kind of competition or something or other, but you can hear a horn going off constantly through this footage. Don't know if I've got them or not, can't see. Can't see shit. Okay. Oh, he come up, did he? Yeah. Here we go. Here's some fish shots. Not really street photography, but they
I wish I had some.
They look quite cool, and especially with the mist.
Yeah, good boy.
I think I got him eating it. One was trying to eat something on the surface. Look. Yeah, really cool place. Opposite this lake is actually a big monument. You can see it in the background.
Oh yeah.
I haven't gone over and photographed it this day, but I did do it the day before on film. And that video,
Get a bit closer.
by the time you watch this, might be up on my YouTube channel. It will be up within the next week or so, if not. So you'll see the sort of main touristy spots with that video. So I did try and avoid them on this video, but you can't really, you know, it's supposed to be a holiday as well as a sort of a bit of a photo trip. Got a nice shot of the bird flying off the post
Oh look,
there.
there's a duck plate, so they can get in now. That's what it's for.
And yeah, that's that location done. We're heading over now to a castle. Now, I did photograph this castle the day before with the film camera. So we didn't go in it on this day, but check out that video. I took a few photos in there with that film camera. See it there in the background, just crossing the road. Really cool to go and have a look, wander around it for free, just wander in there. I think you might have to pay to go in the actual castle, I'm not sure, but it won't be a lot. Little tuk-tuk here out the front, before I get a little shot of that. Once again, got a portrait. Doesn't quite do it justice, and then turned around, back around and banged the landscape, and I was like, yeah, that's, you know, I just think that's a much nicer photo. And then we headed over, so we're heading over now to the back of this castle, because when we were in the spa we saw this hot air balloon, and we'd wanted to do this hot air balloon trip when we were planning this little trip away. And they said that this hot air balloon would be shut. It basically just goes up and down in the same spot. It's not a normal hot air balloon, it's actually on a winch that just goes up and down. But it was supposed to be shut because it's winter. But we just wandered over there, seeing it was open that day, maybe just because the weather was decent, they decided to open up. And we just bought a ticket and we got straight on, which was a result. So I've actually filmed that. And we got some really nice photos at the top here. It's a really good thing to do. I can't remember how much it was, maybe like 15 quid each. It worked out as maybe even a little bit cheaper. Well worth doing if you're going, because you get an amazing view of the city. As you can see, you go in and it's sort of like hollow in the middle, see that? And you stand around the outside, which is really cool. And you're not supposed to move on your way up, but when you get to the top, you can move around up there and sort of see a full 360 view of Budapest, which is wicked. You can see right down into the spa and the baths when you're up there, which is quite cool because you can't actually see into there unless you pay to go in. So that's quite cool. So we've got a couple of shots up here. This funny building in front of us now, you can see it. It's like reminds me of the Eden Project a little bit, like a mini version. I'm not exactly sure what it is. We didn't venture down there, but I got quite a cool shot of that. There you go, nice shot of the spa there. It's not, the balloon isn't fully up then. This was on the way up, I took that. This is the highest point now, but we've moved around to the other side, so I didn't actually get a shot of that. That's the castle I was talking about. You can go in, looks awesome from above. And then we've got one more shot of just sort of that main strip in Budapest, if you've been before you know what that is. And you can see the ice rink there as well. I've cut the video there because it's 20 minutes in, and I thought I'd rather do two parts to this video. So part 2 is on the way, and that's the second part of the walk around that day, and it goes into the evening as well. We get a few evening shots and things, so check that out. Partly because I'm trying to make an effort to YouTube and do a video a week, so I thought I might as well have 2 videos out of this instead of one long one. That, you know what people's attention spans are like. They might not want to sit here for 40 minutes and watch me wander around Budapest and take photos. So I thought, let's split it in 2. So thanks for tuning in. Part 2 will be up within a week or so, and then the next video will be the film photos. It won't be POV style because someone forgot their GoPro memory card. Or no, actually didn't forget, I took the wrong size one, and I didn't have, I think I got 3 shots out of it before it was full. But I did manage to purchase one while I was there. That's when this video appeared, because I managed to get hold of one and we filmed. Obviously that's all POV, but I did take the little Canon G9X Mark II, which I've also done a video on, and I got some sort of shots while I was doing the film photography, and yeah, so that's gonna be a slightly different style of video, but it's all sort of film photos around Budapest. I'm telling you that they might all just be shit, and that video might never materialise because they were shot on a completely new film camera. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. There's the next couple of videos in the pipeline, and yeah, thank you for tuning in. Let's get 2023 well and truly underway.